Vegas is hands down the #1 best city in the world to practice approaching and talking to women. Now, are you going to find your future wife in Vegas? Maybe, maybe not. But it is the best city to sharpen your skill set when it comes to getting practice, getting the reps, and just becoming overall better with women no matter where you go.
Fucking, now you ducking. When I say I got the shooters, baby, no, I'm not bluffing, busting.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mike. Been a dating coach for 12 years. Talked to 20,000 women, been in 50 countries, ran dating workshops in every single continent except for Australia and Antarctica. Now, every time I go to another city for vacation or to run a program, I still have yet to find a better city than Vegas. Now, are there easier cities? Sure. You go to a lot of easier places, but Vegas is the best for skill building. Now, why does this video matter to you? Well, location matters a lot. When it comes to being better with women, there's only two questions you got to answer. Who do you hang out with? And where are you learning game? If you can dial in these two answers, you pretty much are guaranteed for success. I'll give you an example why your surroundings matter so much. I grew up in a household where the man of the house had a PhD degree on the wall. Not surprising, I turned out pretty damn smart, okay? Same thing, I grew up in Seattle where there was AP, IB, International Baccalaureate classes. Not surprisingly, I turned out to get an engineering degree. So your location, the people, the environment around you will 100% mold your success rate. And I've seen a lot of people fail because they try to practice gaming in the wrong city. I'll give you a quick example why some other cities are just bad, okay? I ran programs in LA. Man, I'm so sick and tired of driving an hour just to go from downtown LA to, Hollywood to Santa Monica just for a mediocre club at best with a shitty bouncer that has an attitude. And I'm sick and tired of running programs in New York City where the clubs are small, there's a lot of weird homeless people, and the logistics, again, is terrible. And 6 months out of the year, the weather is just horrendous. You go to Miami, weather is a little bit better, but again, it's like a city where, I feel poor gaming in Miami as a millionaire. I swear to God, it's like having a Lamborghini is like a Toyota Camry in Miami. The competition is just too high. Also, I'm not trying to talk to just Puerto Rican girls and Cuban sugar babies. I want a better demographics because, if you want to speak only Spanish and talk to, 70, 80% Spanish speaking demographics, and that's all you want, great, Miami is fine. So this is why, in my opinion, when you take everything as a whole, Vegas is just the best city. And I'll give you a list of all the reasons why. Number one, you can approach and talk to women 7 days a week. Every single day the club is open, the malls are open. If you want to practice strip club game, you can do that too. But the point is, there is infinite supply of women and you can practice as much as your heart desires, okay? That is the #1 fundamental criteria for a beginner, volume. It doesn't matter if you're playing basketball, approaching women, learning a different language. The basic criteria for success, the first criteria you have to meet is volume. Number two, why Vegas is awesome is you have a broad demographics, okay? You got to understand women, they're all very different. And so if you go to the same club, the same archetype of women, you see the same thing all the time, you're not going to be better as a whole, okay? The bigger your sample size, the bigger your data set, the better you're going to understand anomalies, exceptions. Approaching women is understanding the exceptions. You're not trying to date all women. You're trying to date the good ones. So being able to understand what's the stereotype, what's the exception is huge. Now, you go to a lot of clubs. For example, I've been to LA. I've been to all Asian club. It's horrendous, right? It's, again, I've been to all black club. It's not good either. It's kind of hood. Okay, no racial. When you go to places where it's one demographics, it's super homogenous. It's a small band of race, age, ethnicity, socioeconomic level. You just don't get that broad scale of dating knowledge. When you go to Vegas, you get Asian girls, you get Latinas, you get white girls, you get Vegas locals, you get black girls, you get Middle Eastern girls, you get Canadians, you get people from Australia. So gaming in Vegas effectively is like gaming in 20 different cities. You're going to have a much better worldly knowledge of women as a whole. Number 3, it's got hands down the best nightlife. If you look at the top 100 clubs and venues in America, I think like 7 or 8 belongs in Vegas. You got these mega clubs. You go to a lot of other cities, you go to a bar or club, it's dead. Now you got to leave, and then you got to go wait in line, go to another club. You just wasted 30 minutes, 45 minutes just getting from one venue to another. See, what I love about Vegas is you don't have to worry about that, right? These clubs are so big that you can just stay in one club for the whole night. You can crank out 20, 25 approaches, get 5 good solid hours of interaction in, and there's no wasted downtime. Another thing what I love about Vegas clubs is that a lot of times you have high energy environments and low energy environments, right? You have the dance floor, but a lot of clubs in Vegas also has a patio or different rooms, which again allows you to, if you want to play getting physical, learning how to lead, you have the high energy environments. If you want to focus on your verbals, practice talking, getting to know different girls, and really practice your speaking skills, there's opportunities for that as well. You can be anonymous, okay? You can be anybody you want, and you can feel like you're in a safe space to practice, okay? You don't have to worry about your coworkers. You don't have to worry about your family, your close friends judging you. You can be whoever you want to be. You can make mistakes, try the jokes, try getting physical. You get blown out, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, the faster you make new mistakes, the better you're going to be. You got to understand, failing fast and failing hard is the key to success, because you got to understand, if you never make a mistake, that means you're probably playing it too safe, right? Maybe you want to kiss a girl. You never go for it. You're not going to make the mistake. So having the ability just to do shit that you don't normally do is going to accelerate your progress. You got to understand, learning how to talk to women is kind of like, it's like playing a video game. It's kind of like exploring the map. If you only stay within the known regions of what you know, how you operate, you're not going to become better, right? It's only when you go to the boundary conditions of the map, the territory, you want to kiss a girl, you want to pull her, you want to isolate her from her friends. These are all probably things, if you're a beginner, you haven't done before. So being anonymous and just, you can hide in the shadows. You're in a club with 2,000-3,000 people. Nobody knows where you're from. What do you do? And you just have that, ability to do random trial and error is going to make you develop faster in terms of game. Number 5, low barrier to entry, high skill ceiling. A lot of people don't talk about this. This is a very interesting concept. The fact that it's low barrier to entry means it's beginner friendly. The fact that it has a high skill ceiling means you can go as far advanced as you want to, okay? What do I mean by low barrier to entry, low floor? What I like about Vegas is you don't have to be a multimillionaire. You don't have to know people. You don't have to be famous or somebody or know the promoters or know the hosts to get into the club. It's really easy. It's budget friendly. Living in Vegas is very cheap. You can get a cheap hotel if you want, right? But anybody who makes more than 40K can't afford to go to Vegas and practice. That means it's going to be beginner friendly versus like you go to Miami. Oh my God, you go to like Hollywood, there's a high barrier to entry. That means if you're scared to go to the club, you don't know anybody, it's fucking intimidating. So if you're not even getting your foot in the door, well, you're probably not going to get better. Vegas is all inclusive. There's a budget for everybody. Sure, you can spend $20,000 on the table if you want, but you can also get in for free. You just have to know some people. I can give you the list of contacts, and as long as you show up early, most of the time you can get in the club for free. Most of the time you can get parking for free. Beginner friendly, okay? It's kind of like a video game where you don't have to read a 100-page manual or play 400 games just to be able to stay competitive. Beginner friendly. Now, also on top of it is the fact that it's high skill ceiling means that if you want to approach very challenging groups, very difficult girls that only hang out with celebrities, difficult interactions, yeah, there's those as well. There's a little bit for everybody. There's easy sets, there's medium sets, there's very challenging sets. So it's very hard to find places with both. Some places are low barrier to entry, but there's a low ceiling as well. So for example, if you're to run game at the mall, yeah, you could just walk to the mall and approach girls, but it's a very low ceiling. You're going to get capped out. Or you go to, you go to Philippines and you approach a bunch of easy chicks in the village. Low barrier to entry, very low ceiling. You don't have as much potential. Miami, hard to get in, high potential, but it's hard to get in. So very few places have both these criteria. Number 6, older guys do very well in Vegas. If you feel like, you're in your 30s and your 40s and you have this mental block of like, oh, it's creepy to talk to girls in their 20s, just understand that when you're in Vegas, like girls like 30-year-olds. It's usually girls complaining that the students are too young and almost never that the guys are too old. I've never seen a girl meet a 40-year-old in Vegas and be like, you're too old for me. It's always the 21, 22, 23-year-old guys that meet a girl and they're like, oh, you're too young for me. Also think about it, right? Like, who are the guys that can afford tables? Who are the guys that have status and are connected with the hosts? It's usually guys in their 30s and 40s. Yeah, you're going to do really well. If you're an older guy and you're kind of paranoid about your age, you don't want to be running campus game, approaching girls with backpacks on, then come to Vegas. Number 7, best logistics on the planet. Everything within the Las Vegas Strip, from the north end of the Strip to the south end, it's only 4 miles long, which means if you stay somewhere in the middle of the Strip, it's only plus or minus 2 miles. So at any given moment, you can reach the north end and the south end of the Strip in less than 5 minutes. Okay, so what does it mean by having good logistics? Well, you could try to practice pulling. When I first started out, I lived in a city that was 70 miles from the club. All right, I lived in a small town. I had to learn it the hard way. Yeah, I had to learn it the hard way. It was not easy pulling girls that far, okay? And opportunities were limited. You got to understand, when it comes to learning, you can only try something when that opportunity presents itself. You're not going to be able to practice basketball if there's no basketballs to shoot, right? Or you don't have a basketball court. If you live in a condition where logistics are bad, you're simply not going to be able to practice pulling, taking a girl out of the club, getting food, going to after party, showing her your aquarium. If you live so far away, the opportunity simply won't be there, and you're not going to be able to practice mid to late game. So the fact that you're in Vegas means that you're actually going to be able. That's why if you look at my infields, everybody's pulling. You get guys that have never approached in their whole lives, and then within 4 hours, they're pulling. It's that crazy. Now, is it easier? Sure. But then once you've done it a couple of times, you can take this skill and go back, right? You need to know you are capable of doing something a couple of times. And then when you go back to your city, the fact you've done it a couple of times, it's going to translate to pulling in a little bit harder environment. If you're used to being able to bench 50 pounds, you're probably going to be able to bench 60, 70 pounds soon. It's the same concept. By having stair-step, bite-sized goals, having baby logistic steps allows you to make forward progress. Imagine if you're like, the first time you can pull is if you pull to the moon. Well, fuck, you're never going to pull because you don't have you're not Elon Musk. So if the barrier to the next step is too big, most people just simply aren't going to be able to hop over to the next level. Number 8 is high frequency of outliers and variability. What do I mean by this? Here's a good example. Most guys who only do day game, they approach girls at the mall. They'll, talk to 10, 15 girls, and usually the outcome is the same. So the standard deviation of what's possible is very narrow. And again, what did I say? The more standard deviation, the more edge cases, the faster you're going to learn. If all your conditions are very much the same, it's kind of like if you're practicing martial arts. If you're fighting somebody and all he does is throw the same punch, it's going to be easy to predict you're not going to get better. If he's coming at you with multiple disciplines, he's doing mixed martial arts, you're going to get better faster. What I love about Vegas is you can have a very difficult set. You can have a very mediocre interaction. And then the next girl, it could be extremely good. Or you can interact with a girl that's very, you can have a brutal rejection, but then the next girl is completely DTF. These outliers are what's going to cause a warp speed momentum in terms of your progress, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. Outliers are the key. Because if you've done it once, you're going to have the confidence to at least go for it. That's the thing. A lot of guys, they don't even go for it because they don't think the conditions are right. When you're in Vegas, the stimulus is so high. There's so many different people. People have different anticipations of what their night's going to be. Some are extremely talkative. Some aren't. You're going to just see more in one night than a lot of times in other cities for weeks. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you never know what's going to happen. And sometimes you can get 5 bad interactions in a row, and then you just meet the love of your life. You meet the most awesome girl. And that pretty much only happens in Vegas and very less in other cities. You actually meet a lot of really intelligent and successful women. So there's like this connotation that girls that go to clubs are bad and, you know, they're always party girls and they don't have their priorities straight. That might be right in some other cities where a girl might go out and that's her default place. What I love about Vegas is a lot of girls that come to the clubs here, that might just be like a one-time thing or maybe twice a year. They're not always going to clubs, but since they're in Vegas, why not? And you meet a lot of like really smart girls. I meet physicians, PAs, software engineers from San Francisco. I meet a lot of girls. There was actually every time CES, Consumer Electronics Show, meet a lot of successful business owners, female engineers, marketing girls. A couple weeks ago, we had a longevity conference. We actually met a lot of female doctors that were in their late 20s, early 30s, super attractive, super smart. A lot of high quality women. You obviously know I'm a nerd. I love talking to smart girls. So another reason why Vegas is really good. Number 10, sounds counterintuitive, but you actually meet a lot of girls with red flags as well. Now, you might be like, that's kind of dumb. Mike, why do I want to meet girls with red flags? Are those like the girls that you want to avoid? Sure. You want to avoid dating girls with red flags. You want to avoid marrying girls with red flags. You want to avoid overly investing in a girl that doesn't have potential. But why do you want to meet girls with red flags? Well, if you're exposed to girls with red flags, you can identify these traits so that when you actually do meet a girl that you think you have potential with, you can identify these. A lot of beginners can't identify red flags. I see this all the time. Either they can't identify it or they're in such scarcity mindset that they just completely see it, they just overlook it. I have a student right now, he's dating a flight attendant from Dubai. She just tells him he's stupid, berates him. All the advanced guys, my friends and other dating coaches are like, dude, what are you doing, man? But he doesn't see it, okay? So you absolutely need to be exposed to girls with red flags. So the concept is called thin slicing. Malcolm Gladwell said that. When you take very limited data, you can very accurately predict a woman. So my ability to predict a woman, to gauge her education level, her personality type, her values, her background, if her parents are still together or not, I can read almost all of it within the first 3 minutes. I can guess with a 95% accuracy. Why? Because I've talked to so many girls with red flags, I know what to avoid. So embrace it. You're on your learning phase, not your end goal phase. A lot of guys make that mistake. You're not at the point. You shouldn't be like, I'm ready to find my future wife. I'm ready to find my future girlfriend. For 95% of you guys, you should be like, I need to be exposed more. I need to educate myself. I need to be better at reading people. And that's why meeting girls with red flags is actually a benefit. Number 11 is it's such a rich place to get social media as well. You know, obviously talking to girls is important, but also having good social media, having good Instagram account is very important. And what I love about Vegas is there's so many interesting things you can do, right? You can go to the Bellagio fountain, you can go to the aquarium, you can go to Red Rock Canyon, you can go to Grand Canyon, you can go to the top of the world restaurant above the stratosphere, which has an amazing view. You can see a lot of live shows. You can go to the Neon Museum. You can go to Topgolf. There's just so many endless places that you can visit, become more interesting, and also get a lot of social media content that, you know, when girls look at your Instagram profile, you don't look like some fucking living meme creeper guy with a blank profile picture. Number 12, there is a lot of competition, okay? Guys don't fuck around in Vegas, okay? If I point out a girl for you to approach on boot camp and you don't approach her, if you count to 5, chances are some other guy would have approached, okay? There's no other place I've been where there's more competition than Vegas. Now, you might be like, oh, you know, isn't competition bad? I'm getting AMOG by other guys. Other guys are going to steal my set. You got to think long term, right? It's not about now. It's about how you progress and what you'll become over the next couple weeks, months, years. Why do you think indigenous people aren't very smart? Because there's no competition. They just lived off a hunter-gatherer society for hundreds of years, and then the Europeans came and just took over. Why do you think Europeans advanced so quick as a race? Well, there's just a lot of wars, and that breeds a lot of technological advancements. So competition is huge. You're not going to like it at first, but once you get the hang of it, you're just going to understand, right? It's going to force you to level up. It's like going to the gym with a bunch of buff black dudes. You're going to rise to the occasion, okay? I only work out with guys bigger than me. And side note, when you practice in Vegas, you go to any other city, you're going to freaking destroy all the other guys, man. You go to the South, man, I've been to Atlanta, I've been to Tennessee, I've been to, Louisiana, I've been to Mardi Gras, I've been to Miami. Most guys don't approach. I go to Brazil and I'll destroy most guys there. Because again, you think Brazilian guys are aggressive. Well, no, not if you train in Vegas. So you are going to sink or swim, and it's going to propel you for success. And lastly is you get to focus on speed. In most cities, a lot of guys just progress too slow, right? They take their time. They assume that the girl's always going to be there. They can just get the Instagram, get the number, and then the girls are going to follow up with you. That's not the case in Vegas. You talk to a girl, I have a lot of students that do this. They'll talk to a girl and they're like, oh yeah, I've had a good 20-minute interaction. I got this, like she's down and we're going to hang out next week. And then I see another guy approach her and end up pulling the same girl. And I'm like, dude, you're stupid. What is this overconfidence? You need to move faster. So think of it as this. If you can move fast, you can move slow. If you can bench 300 pounds, you can bench 200 pounds, okay? Certainly, you don't have to try to pull every girl that you meet on the first day, right? You don't have to do SNLs every single day. But having the capacity to do so, it's like being a warrior, right? You know how to protect yourself. It's better to be a warrior in the garden than vice versa. Same concept. If you know you can go faster, you can focus on same night late, make shit happen right now. You get a girl's number. Let's stay and go for the pull. Let's not lose the interaction. Let's not just talk to a girl for 30 minutes and give her to the next guy. Let's protect the interaction. Let's go all the way to the end. When you can do that, when you train where it's like high stakes environment, all the other dates that you normally go on become extremely easy. When I look back, I cherish the fact that I've had some really difficult high pressure interactions where like I'm shitting my pants. These are my first couple of years of going out. I'm like shitting my pants on the inside. I'm like holding it in. I'm just like, all right, it's cool. I'm faking it till I make it kind of thing. And those really prepared me for like normal dates. When you can do this and then you go to a regular date where you pick the logistics, you pick the time, you only have to deal with one girl. She already kind of likes you. It's already pre-screened. It's super easy. When I run these boot camps, a lot of guys are like, how do you come up with all this shit to say? I'm not coming up with everything on the spot right then and there. A lot of times I've said it before in the past. It's simply pattern recognition. I'm just recalling things I've done that work. Focus on speed. You get to act quickly, and you learn how to seize the moment, right? That's the thing with a guy that gets it with girls and guys that doesn't, is we see the opportunities. We see when that window opens. When you game in Vegas, it's almost like you can operate in slow motion during the rest of the time. It's kind of like you're playing a video game and you cast a bubble and everything is like moving slowly. Because under such a hectic environment, you're, diffusing friends, you're protecting other guys from talking to your girl, some promoters trying to steal your girl to another guy's table. You're still able to maintain conversation, do this, do that, figure out logistics. You're going to be godly, dude. I don't know. Like, you see my infields, you see my footage. No other dating coach has that many students pull in their videos than me. So that's it. There's 13 reasons why, in my opinion, Vegas is the best place to learn how to get good with women. I would say if you're the type of guy that has a remote job, you work as a software engineer, you do sales online, you're an appointment setter, you're a business owner, you have a Shopify account, you're a day trader, there's absolutely no reason not to come to Vegas and learn game or take my boot camp. Because again, there's nothing worse than taking a boot camp in a city that sucks, right? Why would you spend thousands of dollars taking a boot camp in a city that like San Francisco that doesn't even have any girls? You can only learn from your environment. You can only learn from the girls that are in front of you. And if you can have the best dating coach in the world, but if the boot camp or the program that you're learning doesn't have women, let's say if I were to run a program in Antarctica or the Sahara Desert, it's not going to be good because the opportunities aren't going to come. So when you take a Vegas boot camp, on average, the average student will approach about 70 women. Think about how many unique interactions you can learn from 70 different case scenarios. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoy this video, learn a little bit about Vegas, as well as what are the crucial environments it takes to become good with women. Also, if you want to join my community, I have a free Telegram group. A lot of former students of mine, a lot of hungry, successful guys that are well-rounded, travel the world, hustlers. Just click the link, fill that out. It'll direct you to my Telegram group. Also, if you want to work with me, I run boot camps in Vegas 90% of the time. Same thing, just reach out to me in the link below and we'll take it from there. All right, guys. Also got a new editor. I got 2 new editors, so I'll be pumping out hopefully at least 1 video a week. And if I have time, I'll pump out at least 2 videos. So thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.